The opinions expressed in the following programs are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk Politics. I'm Debra Hutchison. Our guest this week is Pickering Mayor Kevin Ashe. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. So much going on in your municipality.
Thank you, Debra. I always look forward to this interaction between you and I and your viewers, and look forward to our conversation today.
Okay, so let's start with, I have to ask you about the Pickering Airport. This is an issue that has been going on now for 50 years. You'd think by this time a decision would have been made one way or the other. The federal government recently announcing a study. You say you welcome this study, yes?
Absolutely. I commend the government for issuing a RFP for a consulting firm to do a study. I applaud them for doing that. I think it's time that the federal government made some final determinations about the Pickering Airport federal lands. It was expropriated back in 1972 by the current Prime Minister's father, Trudeau #1, and it's been a period of over 50 years where that land has been, in essence, sterilized to much. We have ghost towns in Rome and some of our small historic hamlets. We have many heritage farm homes that have been torn down, and unfortunately there has not been long-term leases, so the crop output is not fruits and vegetables, but rather grain and cattle corn and soy. So maybe we can make some determination finally after 50 years. And I look forward to engaging with the Transport Canada and engaging with our community about this. Does
it surprise you that it has taken this long? I mean, 50 years. Holy cow. Yeah.
And the reality is a lot has changed. We have had COVID. We now, the former Minister Flaherty did make an announcement they were going to move forward with the airport. The Minister Flaherty, soon after that, tragically passed away, and it's been another a number of years, 10 to 15 years of inaction on that file. So again, I think this is a positive step forward to making a final determination. And I welcome that opportunity.
Now, I can't help thinking of all the food that could have been grown, during that time.
Absolutely.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely. I'm 100% agreeing with you. The stewards of the land by the federal government, they have not been very good stewards of the land, and that's not just the current government. It was the former government. They've let it. They have not been good stewards of the land. Simple as that. That's not a partisan statement. It's the reality. And I think pro-airport as well as anti-airport people would agree with that statement. So at least we agree on that.
Okay. Now, at a recent council meeting, council voted not to support the airport in Pickering and not to spend any further money on the issue. You voted to abstain. Why is that?
A couple of reasons. This has reversed the position of the city of Pickering's position in support of an airport, which was part of our submission for the Amazon, which was about 5 or 6 years ago. And long before that, there was a position in regards to the airport. I abstained from the voting in regards to the negative position because I thought there was the process of the council had 9 people opposed to it, one in favor of it at our delegations. And I didn't think it was a fair debate in regards to that, because some people that would have been supportive of the airport were not given the opportunity. So I abstained from it. I did support, and I also abstained from the voting about the resources being spent on it, as our city staff have indicated that not one penny has been spent on it since 2020. But I did support the motion in regards to the high frequency rail, which I think is an important component and an important project that the federal government is looking at. I think Pickering would be an excellent stop along the rail corridor through Peterborough to Ottawa. So I did support that. In the end, council made the determination, and I, as mayor, will support that recommendation and that determination. So that's where we're at now. We're not a willing host. So it's some aspect of the government will look towards a willing host or not, but in the end, it is a federal government decision.
And you seemed to be taken a little by surprise at what went down. Why is that? I mean, you got to the point where you actually you came out with a statement after the council meeting. Yeah. What actually happened in your eyes?
Well, I think the issue of airport or a non-supportive airport was talked about in the election, and we had 3 new councillors, and the 2 new councillors who I have the utmost respect for, Councillor Nagy and Councillor Cook, brought this forward. It was debated over 2 nights of a council meeting back in March. It was moved to a determination in our April meeting. And in between those 2 periods of times, the federal government made the determination to release the RFP. And I thought it was premature to be making a decision on the airport until we got the outcomes of those studies. So I thought I had an agreement with those 2 councillors who again, I suggest that I do have the utmost respect for, to delay the decision until we got the reports, the conclusions of the studies. And unbeknownst to me, that didn't happen. And we went with the original motion, which was not what I thought was going to happen at our council meeting. So that was kind of my concern about the fairness and concerning about what we should or should not be doing at the time. I think we should maybe making decisions based on data, and the absence of the report's conclusions, I think is telling in regards to having that information.
Okay, let's move on to just briefly economic development on that same vein. Pickering is going through a lot of economic development. A lot of companies in that corridor have decided to call Pickering home. Some really big names.
Yeah, no, we're delighted. The land is owned by the provincial government, and we have been jointly marketing with the provincial government in Infrastructure Ontario to a number of companies. And a number of companies have made the decision to locate here in Pickering. Kubota Canada now has their head office here. Lastman's Bad Boy now has their head office here in partnership with Smart Centers. FGF Brands will be building over 1 million square feet of office and manufacturing. They're an innovation company that bakes, and it's about 3,000 new jobs. We have, as recently as this week, I had a company in from Chicago who's looking at locating here too. So we're having tremendous success in regards to the recruitment of businesses. We're going to have a population explosion here in Durham, but specifically in Pickering. And we need to not only build them homes and places to live, but to have jobs here. So it's about quality of life. It's about climate change. We don't want people getting in their car and driving to Mississauga to a job every day or to Vaughan. We need them to be working here in Pickering. And it's also about quality of life in regards to spending more time with family and not commuting. And as equally important to the city is the tax revenue. Right now, we have about 84% of our taxes come from the residential tax base, only 16% from our commercial and industrial, and I'd like to see a higher percentage in regards to that. 1 acre of farmland generates $32 a year in taxation. 1 acre of industrial commercial land generates $24,000 in tax revenue per year. So I'm not suggesting we get rid of all our farmlands, but we need the jobs and the tax revenues from industry and commercial tax base.
Okay. I also want to ask you about the lobbyist registry. You become the first municipality to have one. Why is this so important?
Well, during the election, people talk about transparency, and I didn't think when we voted on it last time that there was a need, but obviously there is a perception out there about City Hall, and I think it's important that we open the doors to City Hall. So I think Pickering became the 11th municipality out of 444 in the province to have a lobbyist registry, first one in Durham. We try and be a hallmark in terms of transparency, and lobbyist registry is just one of them. The other components of transparency and accountability is a code of conduct and integrity commissioner. We're looking at changing our procedural bylaw to allow a question period to the mayor at council. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So we're trying to open the doors to City Hall, and the lobbyist registry is just one component of that. And it was passed unanimously by the new council. So it's actually in effect now. People, if they come to lobby, have to register either before, during, or 10 days after their interaction with the public official. Although there won't be any enforcement of the rules until November, because we're going through a process of education and kickoff. So it started on May 1st, and I understand we've got about 9 or 10 people have already done the paperwork to be registered lobbyists at the City of Pickering.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to go to a quick break. More of our conversation with Pickering Mayor Kevin Ashe after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
The unsolved ones, we have to stand up
and approach these cases in a way outside the box.
Let the world know, is those out there that did commit a murder, and there are people that are coming after you.
There's just a lot of good people trying to do the right thing.
Because it's something that you have to be passionate about.
I'm Judith Tate, host and producer of At the Heart of Business. Join me each week as we get to know women in business and learn all about their challenges and successes. That's At the Heart of Business right here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Sean Lackey, and this is Sold with Sean Lackey. You should check us out if you want to find out what's going on in the world of real estate. We'll have all sorts of guests to keep you in the loop on what's going on in this wonderful world.
This is Rogers TV.
And welcome back to Talk Politics. We are in conversation this week with Pickering Mayor Kevin Ashe. I need to ask you about the new Pickering Casino Resort official opening, and it is attracting some big name entertainers.
Yeah, we had the official opening a few weeks back, and the kickoff show was one of Canada's greatest musical acts, iconic rock star Bryan Adams, and it was a fantastic show. I was honored to be there. I heard some criticisms about ticket prices, but I can assure you, I paid for my own ticket and my wife's ticket. But it was a fantastic show, and Bryan Adams put on a great show. But there's more acts to follow. Just a couple of days after Bryan Adams, they had a sold-out boxing match in the what's called the Arena. Jan Arden's been announced for a date in June, and there's a couple.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I am too. I've seen her. I've seen her downtown and at Massey Hall, and that's the beauty of this new venue is you can jump in your car or take an Uber to Pickering Casino Resort, free parking, lots of choices for dining, lots of places where you can put your $20 or $50 or $100 in a slot machine as well. But it's great to have this venue so close to in Durham. And the casino has been doing fantastic in regards to ACE revenue. The new hotel is now open, and we are quarterly money. We get 4.1 million, so we're getting about $16.5 million per year, which we're now sharing with the regional government, about $3 million per year. The first voluntary revenue sharing of any casino in all of Ontario, and we're proud to do that. The region is a partner, and we've asked them to put it towards social housing and social needs. There's obviously added costs for the region: transit, police, social services, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been a fantastic addition to our community. There's more to come. Film studios, Porsche experience. The racetrack will be open hopefully about this time next year. We're looking at some residential as well as a restaurant row. So stay tuned. It's a happening place, but it's going to be more happening in the years to come.
Okay, I also want to ask you about are the Oshawa Generals on the move to Pickering? It's really hit headlines this week. Oshawa Generals owner Rocco Tullio not happy with the deal he's getting in Oshawa. Have you been in any talks with him about moving the team to Pickering?
I can confirm that I have not had any talks. I know Durham Live owner Steve Apostolopoulos and the owner of the Generals have had some preliminary discussions. It would be a damn shame that if Oshawa lost the Generals. Fantastic history. Bobby Orr, Eric Lindros, John Tavares, a great tradition there. So I'm hopeful that the city and the tenant, because it's really a landlord-tenant issue, can solve those problems. But I can see why the Generals would find Pickering as a great place to relocate, but it's certainly not on our radar. And I'm hopeful that the city of Oshawa and the Generals come to some conclusion about their lease. I think there's still 7 years still to go on it. So I've had an opportunity to be at the Tribute Center on a couple of occasions, including a couple of hockey games. So it's a fantastic facility, and hopefully they'll work out their differences.
Okay. I have to ask you about a tweet we saw this week. You in a T-shirt that your wife bought you that says, "Not now, sweetie. Mommy's cyberbullying the mayor."
Yeah.
Does that become a real problem, Kevin? Like I've heard from a lot of mayors about, I guess, the increase in maybe downright hostility instead of productive conversations or, when reaching out to our elected officials because of issues.
Yeah, I've seen, certainly since COVID, kind of a undertone of personal insults and nastiness. To be perfectly frank, it doesn't bother me. I have thick skin. It does, I know, impact family members. And my wife bought that T-shirt as kind of a lark and to spread some light on it. But I know the social media abuse that I get, and it doesn't bother me. But I can't imagine women politicians here in Durham like Jennifer O'Connell and Patrice Barnes and Mayor Roy and Mayor Wooten, how the name calling is and the personal attacks, I don't think are helpful to the discussion about public policy. I don't think it should be about policy rather than personality. And I call them keyboard warriors. And I don't think it's helpful. I kind of have some fun on Facebook and social media, but I try and elevate the discussion in terms of policy rather than personalities, and that would be my wish moving forward. But again, my wife bought that T-shirt for me, and I put it out there, and overwhelmingly, I've got some positive comments on it. So hopefully people will put down their or think about what we're putting on social media.
All right. I want to ask you about that planned development to build a 40-story residential tower at Pickering Parkway and Valley Farm. Where are we in the process? Because the current zoning bylaw allows for only 25 stories at that location, correct?
That's correct. It is right beside the storage unit that you see north of the 401. It is a fairly small piece of land, and originally the old owner wanted to put up 2 towers. The new owner has consolidated that and wanted to go a little bit higher. We have already approved in January 9 residential, 7 residential, hopefully 1 hotel and 1 office tower on the old Sears wing of the Pickering Town Center. And the beauty of these particular residential opportunities are the lack of a need for a car. The GO train is literally across the bridge. Our bylaw only calls for 0.85 of a car per resident. We're seeing a changing landscape in regards to transportation. A parking spot at one of these residential buildings costs about $50,000. A car costs about $50,000. And we're seeing these young buyers opting not to have a car and use $100,000 is a lot of down payment on that $100,000 condo. And it's also a heck of a lot of Uber rides and rideshare cars and zip cars and GO train fares. So we're seeing a transformation in our downtown so that there'll be a residential as well as office and hopefully a hotel. Malls are still struggling, so we need people downtown. And in conjunction with what's happening downtown for a residential is what we're trying to do as a city in regards to our city center project, which has been officially approved in regards to the vision, where we're looking at a facilities on the park concept, where the library and the senior center would be on our Esplanade Park. We'll have a public square, which could host Christmas markets, farmers markets, have a water feature in the summer and skating in the winter, kind of like Nathan Film Square, and that'll be on the current mall parking lot. So we're trying to transform our downtown because frankly, we've never had a downtown. So we formed as a town from a township back in 1974. And we're trying to develop something, and I think we're going to see some success over the coming years in regards to this. And having people in our downtown will make it vibrant, walkable, transportation supported, and I think it will be an exciting place to be.
So where are we with this project? Has it been approved for the 40 stories? Because they're also asking for the minimum requirements of tenant and visitor parking to be reduced too.
No, our what happens is there's a statutory public meeting, which is a process where they introduce the project and start the process. So that happened earlier in May. So then issues are identified. The various agencies like Alexicon and Enbridge and Metrolinx and police and fire all get to comment. And then a report will come back to us, I would think sometime in the fall, to planning, and then go to council. So there's still many months before this, until there would be some type of decision from council on this. But again, a number of landowners and investors are looking at Pickering as an area to develop. We have Universal City, which is on the south side of the 401, right by the GO train, where they have 7 towers approved. They're currently constructing on the 3rd tower now, and people are moving in there every day. So the access, easy access to the GO train, and transit support along Kingston Road, the bypass across the pedestrian bridge is attracting people, and it's transforming our downtown.
Okay, we've only got less than 2 minutes left. You recently met with Premier Ford and MPP Bethlyn Falvey to discuss, I guess, some Pickering priorities. And one of them you discussed was hospital. I know we've only got like a few minutes left, but why is Pickering a better location for a hospital than Whitby?
Well, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that Pickering deserves a hospital. We're going to be the largest municipality in Durham within the next 25 years. We not only need housing, we need jobs, and we need healthcare. We're getting a small steps forward with the Jared Coughlin Center happening and opening later this year. But we need a full service hospital. We'd be one of the largest municipalities. We're already one of the largest municipalities without a hospital in our borders.
Hey, Kevin, we're out of time.
Well,
I gotta stop you there. Thanks so much. Can we count on you coming back?
Absolutely. I always enjoy our conversation, and thanks for inviting me today.
Okay, and thanks to you. Thanks to our viewers as well. Until next time, bye for now.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Six Nations, and I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles. Competition between spirit, earth, and wind, let me tell you now. This song in particular, The Shiner, is a special song that I wrote for my grandfather. He was a snow snake maker, and that is a Haudenosaunee winter sport. It's my job to educate and to share, and the music allows me to do that. He'll be shining snow snakes and mudcats to the end of his days.
Hi, can I take your order? Hello?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No.